On the fifth day just after arriving at the prison, the man chiseled a hole in the ceiling, but unexpectedly the rock suddenly cracked and sand and gravel spilled all over the floor. Unfortunately, the prison guards suddenly started to search the cells, and they had to quickly patch up the hole. The cellmate immediately went downstairs, picked up the guitar and sang loudly to delay the speed of the prison guards' search. Others went to get eggs and posters, and the rest quickly cleaned the room. They wrapped the sand and gravel in the carpet and put them into the travel bag. David tore the newspaper into pieces and threw them into the bucket, then added an appropriate amount of water and put all the eggs in it, while also mixing in the soil and flour to make a dough. The dough was just right to block the hole, and finally a poster was pasted on the hole, and it was impossible to tell there was anything unusual at all. At this time, the prison guards had already reached the second floor. They sprinkled water on the ground to cover the dust and then cleaned the dirt off their bodies. After finishing these tasks, the prison guards had already arrived at the cell door. The prison guards saw that they looked panicked and suspected that they were hiding a secret, so they carefully searched every corner of the room. Seeing that the poster on the ceiling was about to be torn off too, at this critical moment, the prison guards received the order to retreat. Only then did they narrowly escape this disaster. However, the hole they dug out was not the exit for escape. Instead, there was a huge space above the ceiling where a large amount of soil could be stored. The wall on the first floor was the location of the exit. They first measured the dimensions, then used a saw to cut, and finally he pried open the wall directly. In order to cover this hole, David made a fake wall. They placed the wall at the gap, and then used flour mixed with white pigment to smear on the gap, which was exactly the same as the real wall. Next, they started to dig the tunnel. Everyone worked in division of labor. Some were responsible for observing, and some were responsible for putting the excavated soil in the travel bag and sending it to the second floor. But on this day when the man was walking upstairs with the travel bag, the prison guard saw it and wanted to check his travel bag, but after opening it, all that was seen inside were daily necessities. However, the prison guard still asked him to go to the office. When going downstairs, the man took the opportunity to put the bag on the ground, and David quickly took the travel bag away. When the man arrived at the office, the prison guard saw that he didn't have the travel bag with him. Although there was no further interrogation, this also made the prison guard suspicious. After this incident, David felt that this method was too risky, so they directly chiseled another hole in the ceiling on the first floor. In this way, the soil could be directly sent to the second floor. This not only reduced the risk, but also greatly improved the efficiency. Just when everything was going smoothly, the prison guards suddenly raided and inspected, but they still had a lot of soil that hadn't been hidden, and yet the prison guards would soon search their cells.